Hi, welcome to another video. If you are here to paint alongside me or if you are just here to watch and relax, I hope you enjoy this video. For those painting with me, I'd love to see how your pieces turned out, so definitely share it in the comments. And if you are just here to relax, sit back and enjoy. Personally, I like to paint also sides of my painting because especially when you are not framing it, I think it looks much better. And before I start painting process, I also like to put tape on the bottom of my canvas to make the edges look much nicer, even though it's from the back side and not visible, but I think when you're painting the edges, it's a really nice detail to have, which I totally forgot to do here. For the blending, I'm using a cheap makeup brush. I think it literally cost like €3. I even think it was intended for kids, but it works perfectly. For the colors, I am using acrylics, and even though they dry super fast, I let them sit on the canvas for 2 or 3 minutes before going in with the brush. And as some of the colors are much more pigmented than others, I am wiping some of it off on the painting mat to give the less pigmented colors a chance to shine. And some general rules I like to have when I'm painting the skies, I like to use multiple colors. Because even when you think of the real sky, it happens very rarely that sky is just one color. So I like to think when I'm using multiple colors on multiple spots that it looks more realistic, at least in my head and in my eyes. In this part you will see my attempt to paint some clouds, and the attempt, that's the keyword, because even though I tried it several times, I still feel like I have a long way to go and I'm not really good with it, but I keep trying, and I think that's the most important in painting and in the life. I like to think I am having fun with it, because if I wouldn't be deceiving my mind like this, then I would be thinking about how these fluffy marshmallow things in the sky are making me lose my mind. So we are having fun while painting and we are not thinking negatively. I like to think like this, or more so, I need to think like this, because I'm pretty sure I'm a perfectionist. I keep trying or doing it until it feels perfect, which often leads to overdoing it, not really liking the result, and sometimes completely losing any motivation or willpower to continue. So I'm trying to change my thinking process, and for me, painting is a really good way to work on that. As I'm a young woman who started painting in April 24, I think, because I needed a way to turn my mind off. I needed a safe space where my thoughts weren't so loud, and I found it in painting. So there's no reason to destroy this for myself, especially I am not a professional painter, I am not painting for any competition, nor am I claiming to create hyper-realistic works or anything like that. So this is a reminder, it is supposed to be fun. And if I should give some real tips beside the motivational one, so let's say you are painting your clouds, don't be scared to use different colors. It depends what time of the day you think or you are intending your clouds to be in. So you can do sunset colors, you can do darker colors. Don't be scared. Clouds are not just white. Even though I totally only used white here. But as you will see, my white won't be just one tone of the white. As I was playing with the thickness, I was putting down on the canvas, so in some places the white will be more prominent, while in other places we will have this blue undertone. Another tip I would give for painting the clouds, when you're kind of layering your cloud, so let's say you have cloud in the cloud, don't put the lines in the same directions you already did. Try to change it a little. Also, don't be scared to highlight those outlines, because then you will give it more depth. As you could see, I picked a few colors for these flowers and I will be using all of them. I even then grabbed some orange, I think, and I am just going to layer one color after another and see what I like the most. For the petals, I didn't know which brush to use because I didn't have my perfect brush size, so I went with the bigger one, even though I was really careful to not make my petals super big. As for my color palette, I used actually 4 colors. I used 2 types of yellow color, then I used As for my color palette, I actually used 4 colors: ivory white, orange, and 2 shades of yellow. I didn't want for my petals to be only yellow, so that's why I used also another colors. But for example, I used ivory white also for its pigmentation, as I know that my yellows don't have much of it and they can get see-through really easily, so mixing it together it helped a little with this one. And if you are wondering what's ivory white, basically it's just shade of the white. When you are comparing it to standard one, this one is more in warmer color palette. And here I'm going to put or paint or write time, and even though you can see me using a ruler fast forward, I didn't end up using it for the whole time writing thing, and I should. So this is your reminder: if you will do this, please use ruler or just sketch your your numbers all the way through, because you can erase it. Originally I wanted to put there 3 ones as an angel numbers, but I didn't like how it looked only like this, so I end up rewriting it to 0. And this is it, so thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed this video and hopefully also see you next time. I wish you a nice day and bye! And remember, it is supposed to be fun.